I've started taking apart the interior around this doorpost. And there are 2 screws holding in the top piece, and there were 2 screws holding in the bottom piece. And that is not to say that there was originally 2. I don't know. But we've taken off this stuff. So now we're going to look and see what else is going to happen here. There's a piece of metal. It's just curved over sheet metal that screws down along here. And it hides all this rust and repairs under there. See? You need that. But it takes a few screws to get that loose. One was here, one was back over here, and then there was another here. And of course some of them are gonna break off or just turn loose because there's no threads. What I like to do is, on these old things, it's always best to squirt a little penetrating oil on screws like this. I didn't have mine handy, but I also like to take a screwdriver, Phillips especially, and set it in that screw and then give it 2 or 3 little taps with your hammer to break that rust free. And a lot of times that will allow you to turn that screw out without breaking it. You might end up with a screw that, you know, is in decent shape, that can be reused, or it might break off on you like this one. But your odds are better if you tap that screw to break it loose. Anyways, here we are. We've got this opened up now for the most part. I'm going to get the vacuum out and clean it all up, but we can kind of see how it goes together. It curves inside here a little bit. We'll have to break that loose, and then out here we'll break that loose. Come out here, remove this piece, and then we should be able to get that post loose on the bottom. And the top, I'm still not sure what's going to happen up here because we've got this, I can't even think of what it's called right now, but that's in the way, and my headliner is in the way. However, we do have the Biscayne. We can look at it. It's opened up right now. Let's go have a look. I think we can cut that straight off and just weld it in and forget it. Let's walk over here and look. Then we can get some more information to work with. Okay. Yeah, I've still got it covered up here. We've got this piece that holds the headliner that'll have to be removed. But from this point of view, I still don't see anything wrapping on the inside. I think we'll just cut it straight off at the top. The big fight will be at the bottom. There'll be some rust repair that has to be done. But my next step is going to be getting the vacuum out and cleaning that mess up. Hey, while we're here, we'll just go to this side and we'll show you the work we need to do. This is what the rockers look like. That's all a mess of fiberglass mat and Bondo and probably a little chicken wire and somebody's t-shirt from 1962. That all has to be cut out. You'll have to cut out the front, the outer rocker, and then of course on this case we'll have to replace the inner rocker. Let's get down here. As you can see, we are in bad shape under this car, and I should have walked away from it when I saw it. I just wanted a project at the time and didn't care. There's gonna be it needs the whole floor, the whole thing. But let's keep going. We've got more time than money. See how this ends. Back here, I'm gonna have to do some work on this quarter and the inner quarter, of course. I don't have anything against personally getting this opened up to where I can see, and then cleaning that inner quarter and patching it. Bolting some metal with my hammer and my anvil or whatever and welding it in, and then put our outer quarter together and cover it up. Back here, we're gonna have to repair this. And I've got a couple of pickup beds that have a nice curve to them already, and I'm thinking of cutting off and replacing that with. So I'll put patch panels through here, and I will probably make most of the stuff myself. This door is going to come back and weld here, so we'll be able to, we'll just patch it. I mean, it's all going to be different metal anyways. That is, unless I make some of that there TV money, then I can buy parts. I'll just buy this here section and replace the whole thing. Okay, so we've got the sheet metal pulled back, and we can now see that this particular piece of the post comes down inside a little bit and attaches inside this ridge. Then of course this has got to come loose, on the front the same, and then it curves over the front a little bit. I'm going to get my air chisel here. I'm going to use this tip and just cut it loose. It's probably going to punch holes in the rust. It's not going to be pretty, but even if I tried any other way, it was going to come out the same. So I'm just going to bust it loose with this chisel. I'm not going to build that part. It's just going to be noisy and dirty. I'll show you kind of as I go. Well, the air chisel got me started, but there's some tough welds inside there that don't want to turn loose. So I'm going to go to the manual chisel, see if we can do any better. Okay, got this far. Got the inside fairly broken loose using a combination of a hand chisel and a screwdriver. I've got this end busted loose. Now we've got to go all the way across here and then all the way through here and get that busted loose. And they're pretty hard welds. So I'm going to see if I can find these welds here, but unlikely. If I could drill them out, but probably not going to happen. And then we've got some rust to fix there. So might as well get that out of the way to fix it. Yeah. Moving along. Be right back. Well, it was time to remove the door on the back. And the top has 3 bolts. And they come off fairly easily. And of course the bottom one has these big screws like that in both sides. So me not having an impact driver for screws or a great big Phillips, I had to drill the heads out. I just drill them until they pop off. Gave it a little wiggle. And then the door comes off. And then you're left with those sticking in your door, which you can get a hold of with some vice grips. Actually, they turn out by finger now. Sure. No, the screws are ruined. Easy enough to get some bolts to replace them. No problem. Not like I'm going to use them on this door. Okay. We've got that out. We've got to get this front part loose now, all the way across. And we'll be ready to take the front door off and set the door in and see how we look. Here we go. Okay, well, I've been fighting with this for a while now. I've been chiseling up to where it gets hard and drilling out and chiseling up and drilling out, chiseling up. Now I've got to the back side, I've drilled. Now the problem is that sometimes your dang chisel goes sideways on you and it cuts into the body instead of splitting the weld. And so at this point I realized why Dan over at Double D Speed Shop just cuts it. So maybe that's what I'm gonna do. All right, well, I give up on all that chisel. Look here, I just cut that off flush. A little hole patch there. There is a piece that wraps over the top and comes back in, but shit, why fight with that? We'll just weld it up. And down here, still got to cut it loose inside here. I've got the outside cut loose. I'll just cut it right there. Should come out. All right, be right back. All right, so it's out now. See, we're gonna have to do a little rust repair, as usual. I didn't much like how I welded those outer rockers on anyway, so it's gonna give me a chance to fix that. Cut that crap out of there, overlap it, bring it up. I may come back in here and cut that and move it forward to make that doorway right. And then I'll just put in a flat piece here so that this garbage can mount to it. And I'll have to rebuild all that, but that's no big deal now. We got it out. We'll do a little grinding and cleaning and test fitting. Well, my dad used to say I could put an anvil with a rubber mallet. He's probably not wrong. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I gotta get that hinge out of that door now. But I've got it busted loose. I've got it moved back. No turning back. I like it. I like where it's going.